Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to 15 Minutes with Grow. My name is Kantisha Ward. I am the COO of Grow the Food Lab. And we've designed 15 Minutes with Grow just to inform different persons about the different levels of the value chain that is involved in actually food creation and food processing. Today, we have Miss Alexis Mackey, which is a very young person. We love dealing with young persons here at Grow. We are focused on being able to enhance entrepreneurship throughout or amongst the youth by being able to give them a platform and also a facility to create. So Alexis, welcome. Alexis is a food chemist. She's just returned back to the Bahamas. So Alexis,
Yes.
tell me some more about yourself. What inspired you to become a food chemist?
Wow, that's a really good question. For as long as I could remember as a child, I've always been interested in just creating and coming up with things that are different. I can remember I would always say, "Oh, I'm making a hair product," or "I'm making a food product," or something like that. So that is what fostered my passion and just my love for creativity. And that's the reason why I went off to school in Canada to pursue chemistry.
Awesome. So tell me, from since you came back home, have you ran into any other food chemists?
No, I have not ran into any food chemists at all.
Wow.
I'm always looking. So when I saw Grow on my Facebook, I was like, "What? I have to check this out." I was so excited.
I know, because definitely one thing about grow is you want to be able to look at the different aspects of food production. So food testing, food chemistry, how we
Yeah.
store food, how we process food, all
Hmm.
of those different things that actually fall under the food chemist realm. Okay, so I have another question for you. Um,
Okay.
have you had the opportunity to use your degree and what inspired? Okay, first, have you had the opportunity to use your degree as yet?
To be honest, no, I have not had the opportunity to
Okay.
use my degree the way that I would like to. I always said that I wanted to use it in a way that was different and not, I guess, the traditional way of chemistry. So
Mhm.
I've always been looking for a way to use it in a very unique path.
Yeah, so that's very very interesting. What do you think are some of the limitations on why you aren't able to use your degree locally?
I would say one of the biggest limitations is just having the opportunity.
Hmm.
Sometimes we just don't have something like Grow in the Bahamas, and so people aren't able to use their degrees in that way. I know that is one challenge that I've had. If something like this was here a while ago, then of course I would have been back home a long time ago and want to use my degree and also inspire and help other people as well.
Definitely, because we don't have enough food chemists down here.
Yeah.
That means you are in the position to be a young leader and
Oh my
inspire other
goodness.
persons to be a food chemist as well, right? So tell
Yes,
me something, or
definitely.
tell us something. What does a food chemist actually do? Because maybe
Mm.
we're not creating positions for them locally because we don't understand how important a food chemist really is, Alexis. So tell us more about that.
That is a loaded question.
I
I
know.
would say that I would say that food chemistry is all about food science. And
Yes.
food science, it looks at the chemistry, the biological aspect of food, all of that. And it's so important, especially with food, because it helps us to know what we are consuming. And
Mhm.
it is highly correlated to food safety.
Yes. Okay, so that actually comes to my next question.
Good.
What are the impacts of not knowing what's in your food? And also a few safety hazards and concerns in food production. So I know that one's a loaded one. So let's start with
Mhm.
what are the impacts of not knowing what's in your food?
Wow, I feel that when you don't know what's in your food, you don't know what you're consuming. Sometimes people can have health issues, and if you don't
Mhm.
know what's on the nutritional label,
Yeah.
then you're putting yourself at risk because you don't know if you should be consuming all of the sugar or all of the carbs. So
Mhm.
that's really important with food chemistry, just knowing the nutritional label.
Yes. And Grow actually is geared to have a testing facility on site to whereas we could test different foods and different compounds so that we can be able to create that
Hmm.
nutritional facts label so that every single Bahamian producer or chef or
Mm-hmm.
even farmer could actually know what's in our food, which is very, very important. So, another question: safety hazards and concerns. In
Mm-hmm.
the production of food, we run across many different safety hazards and concerns. And here at Grow, Regina and I, we're very, very focused on FDA certifications, creating hazard plans, GMPs, and being able to kind of cover all the bases when it comes to safety hazards in food production. Tell us a little bit more about that. What you know
Just
about safety hazards and safety hazards and concerns. Sorry.
no problem. I would say it's very crucial to know that information because if you're not testing food properly, it can be a breeding ground for contaminants and bacteria. So that's one of the biggest things ever. And I think
Mhm.
that is, again, that is correlated to our health as well and what we are putting in to our bodies. So I think that would be definitely the biggest concern with food hazards, just knowing the shelf life of the food, knowing how
Yes.
long it can be there, if bacteria are going to grow quickly, how to preserve that, what chemicals can go in the food that may reduce the growth of bacteria and contaminants.
Yes. Mhm. Alexis, I love that you're so knowledgeable in this field because when Regina and I speak to other persons about food processing, we sound like the mad scientists. But I'm
Yeah.
so glad that now we're on the call with the mad scientist who actually understands the different levels of food production and the hazards. Now you spoke about bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times, bacteria hides in different places in our food that we don't expect, especially in the terms of packaging, being able to
Mm.
transfer the raw good or transfer the processed good to packaging. Here in the Bahamas, we don't really create packaging. Most packaging are imported. Could you tell us a little bit more about your experience with packaging processed food and the safety hazards concerned there?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I have all the knowledge in that area, but I would just say that from what I've experienced from in the lab with being in chemistry lab at school, like that's really important and just knowing how you're packaging the goods, for example, whether it's being kept in a room temperature area or a cold storage area, all of that is crucial to reduce the level of microbial bacteria.
Okay, that sounds really, really good. Okay, so now I have one more question. In your experience from since you've been back home, Alexis, because I know sometimes when we come back home, it's a culture shock, right?
Yes.
So, in your experience from since you've come back home, what advancement have you seen locally that has been innovative in food preservation outside of grow? I know you're going to say grow, but
Oh
outside of
man,
grow.
okay. I was going to say grow. That was my answer. To be honest, I haven't seen much, but just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not there. Like I've only been back for a few months, so I'll just be honest. I'm sure it's there. I've just probably not been aware, but I'm still looking.
Okay, that's awesome. That's really, really good to hear because I know we're doing a lot of different things here locally, and I know Grow is so excited to see young persons who want to be more involved in the food production. And
Yeah.
we just received notice in the newspapers today that prices are going up and they're not going down. So this is
Yep.
very, very important for every single Bahamian. Alexis, tell us how you feel that we can make an impact on those increasing prices in the grocery store. In your
Oh my
experience,
goodness. That is a beautiful question. I love that question.
yes.
I feel like Grow is so awesome because again, it just gives people that room to create their own. It just makes things more accessible. And when people are able to create their own products in their own country, that reduces the need to import from other countries. We get to have our own things here, and that reduces the cost as well. But also a good thing about that, it reduces the cost, but it also allows Bahamian to export their products to other countries as well.
Yes. So one thing I've learned throughout this process, Alexis, is something called national debt. And the national debt here in the Bahamas is just increasing. And a
Mm.
lot of that is based on the goods that we import and the lack of
Yeah.
goods that we export. So being
Mhm.
able to export our goods, process and also export our goods puts the Bahamas and all Bahamian people at a better advantage. So
Yes.
I have a question. What inspired you to reach out to Regina and I at Grow the Food Lab? And also, what would you say to persons wanting to work with us here at Grow?
Okay. I would say the reason why I reached out is because when I saw what Grow was all about, I was honestly enthusiastic about it. I was so happy to know that something like that is coming to the Bahamas because in Canada I've seen it so many times, and I was just happy to know that it's Bahamian owned as well, and
Yes.
it's here, and it gives people room not to play on the words, but to grow, literally to
Yes.
grow. To grow and to expand and to know that we can do this. And I was really happy to know the goals and the mission behind Grow, that it was all about sustainability, because so many food goes to waste here, whether we grow it locally or we import it. And also so many people go hungry as well, and that's always been something on my heart as well, to try to counteract that and to help people with it. So just knowing what Grow is all about, it really just gave me a lot of excitement, and it gave me a lot of hope. And just the fact that this opportunity is available for so many young Bahamians, that this is going to be a generational thing. It's not just something that is going to start once and then we don't ever hear about it again. It's going to be for the long run. And it's also helping young Bahamians and helping the future. It's just making it look so much brighter. And I wanted to be a part of it.
Yes, Alexis, I love the way you speak. You even inspire me as an owner to go and invest and grow. So you spoke about the aspect of being able to give young persons the ability to grow. So I'm
Yes.
in the grow in the terms of entrepreneurship. So let's say the farmer has the ability to be able to process their good, the food
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur, let's say the popsicle maker, the baker has the opportunity to grow, but what about the young investors? The persons your age who can make that investment, who just $16 and
Mm-hmm.
also be able to grow from that investment. How do you feel about making investments at your age, Alexis?
That is amazing. And at my age, I've always been looking at ways to grow in that area as well. And I think it just expands the young Bahamian mind that investment is where it is at, to be honest. And the
Definitely.
fact that you can invest for just $16, like, I'm like, yes, this is affordable. It's easy, it's
Mhm.
accessible, and I feel that every young Bahamian should take advantage of this because they're taking advantage of their future.
Alexis, thank you so much. We also want to remind everybody who's on the call that you do have the opportunity to invest and grow the food lab for just $16 a share. If you head on down to ourwaxx.com, you will be able to click on Grow the Food Lab. We want to sign up first. So they have just a few KYC documents that you have to fill out, and that's just your identification, also a proof of address, and also your banking information. And then you want to click invest and grow. You place the amount that you do want to invest. You'll then receive an email back confirming from our WACX that your investment has been processed. So it's a very easy step, just as easy as it is buying a pair of sunglasses on Amazon.
Yep.
You could invest and grow. So it's really, really easy. So guys, we want to thank Alexis so very much. And Alexis, before you go, do you have any questions for Grow the Food Lab?
No, I don't have any questions for Grow the Food Lab. I'm just excited and cannot see it get off the ground.
Thank you so much, Alexis, for your time. And I'd like to thank all of our viewers, our followers, our potential investors, and our current investors for following in. Check us out next week, Wednesday. We're going to be here at the same time. We're going to be talking to Hands for Hunger. We're going to be talking about the rising prices in the food store and what that means for hunger here in the Bahamas. So thank you so much once again. And I invite you guys to come on back next week, Wednesday, where we'll be talking about food sustainability, food security, and growing. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.